What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Week 15 Pick-Ems, brought to you by SideLine Sports. I'm joined by my co-host, Kal. Kal, how you doing, man?
What's going on, baby?
All right, guys, so we're just going to dive right into it. First game of the week. This week is kind of one of those special weeks. We got two games on Saturday. So let's start on this one. We got the Bills visiting the Broncos. Kal, who do you got in this one, man?
We'll go with the Bills on this one. I just feel like, obviously, they're the better team here. Broncos, I feel like they have so much potential. You just cannot figure it out. I don't think Vic Fangio should be a head coach. I think he should just stick to defensive coordination. Josh Allen's balling out. They're coming off that huge win off of Pittsburgh. And I think that they're going to win this week.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I think that win the Bills have been good all season, but I think coming off of that win in Pittsburgh, it's going to give them a lot more momentum finishing out the last couple weeks of the season as well as in the playoffs. So I think the Bills is an easy choice for this one. Next Saturday game, we got the Panthers visiting the Packers. Kal, I think this is a very easy shot, but go ahead. Let me hear it.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Green Bay on this one. They're just clicking hard right now. Rodgers going for that MVP. I'm convinced. Nobody can tell me otherwise. Rodgers is going for that MVP. He just keeps talking about how critics and all that. Panthers, their season's a scratch. McCaffrey's done. I think they're just playing to finish it out. But I'm going Green Bay in this one.
Yeah, I'm agree with you on there. I think without CMC, without a lot of their players, I feel like even if they did have all their key players, they'd make it a little more competitive. But the way the Packers are playing right now, it's kind of insanely how good they are, right?
But don't they always do this?
I know.
Right?
I know.
Come on. Then the postseason, something happens. Postseason playoffs, something happens, and it's just they end up just getting blown out. They don't even lose. They just get wrecked. You know what I mean? And it's just how?
So, do you think the Packers end at 13-3, or do you think they go 12-4? Do you think they lose a game for the remainder of the season?
I gotta look at the rest of their schedule, but even if they go 12-4 or 13-3, I feel like in the playoffs they win that one game and then they just get destroyed. It's oh my god, why? You know what I mean? What happened to you guys?
Game planning. I feel like last year they went 13-3 and then they got blown out.
By the 49ers.
And one game away from the Super Bowl. But man,
the good defense to stop Rodgers.
Yeah, we'll see what happens this year. I still think the Packers are going to end up being 1 or 2 in the playoff in the NFC playoff picture, but we'll see what happens.
Is it okay that I'm kind of rooting for Rodgers or no?
I'm rooting for him too.
Okay.
I personally
I love him.
Yeah, even though we're Bears fans and everything, I think Rodgers deserves another title, in my opinion. But I mean, it's gonna suck that it's Green Bay, right? If Aaron Rodgers was anywhere else, I'd be full on support. I'd have his jersey, everything. But that green and yellow, man, gets to me. I can't.
Yes.
Moving on to the Sunday games. So the first game is the 49ers at the Cowboys. This is probably the weirdest game of the week. Kal, let me get your opinion.
Yeah, it's so weird seeing the Cowboys play at 12 o'clock, 1 Eastern, 12 o'clock our time. Both teams obviously just destroyed with injuries. Well, not really. I mean, Dallas obviously just missing really Dak is their main thing. 49ers are literally missing an entire Super Bowl roster. But I'm still going to go with the 49ers. Kyle Shanahan out there, he's still holding it down, even with his whole team basically on the IR. But their defense is still good. I think they're going to give Andy Dalton a hard time this week.
Yeah, so I'm going to agree with you. I think the 49ers are the better team, especially that they are getting a lot of key defensive players back each week. Of course, it's not the same Super Bowl defense or even Super Bowl offense, but they're just better structured than the Cowboys are, right? The Cowboys, we saw they fell apart as soon as Dak got injured. And
they're better coached.
Yeah, and I mean,
Mike
McCarthy's complete ass, dude.
Yeah, he sucks. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not saying we got Nagy. It's just I'm saying, oh my god, but Mike McCarthy sucks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
There's nothing to say about that. He had Aaron Rodgers for 10 years, 12 years, and
he got one ring.
One ring. No,
stop it.
Not good enough. Moving on to the next game, we got the Seahawks visiting that football team. Kal.
Okay, so everybody wants to say Seattle, right? But I'm telling you that I'm a true believer in this Washington defense. I think they're going to win that NFC East. Sorry, AB, but I don't think the Giants are going to win that one. Seattle's good, of course. Russell Wilson, balling out, shit like that. But after what the Giants did to Seattle with that defense, and then Washington's defense being much better, I really think that I'm going to go Washington on this one, man. Especially in Washington. I'm going to go Washington on this one, man.
Yeah, so I actually think Washington's going to win this game, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to take Seattle just to be the contrarian in this, but I do believe Washington is the better suited team just because of how great their defense is, right? Seattle has a good high-powered offense, but their defense is historically like the worst, right? You give Washington just a little bit of life on offense, that defense will carry them. So I'm going to take Seattle to win this game, but I really do believe Washington can pull it out. And they can pull it out very easily, just like the Giants did, just like you said. I don't think that it won't be a surprise to me if Washington wins. That's what I'm trying to get at.
And like with the Giants, when you shut down Seattle's offense and you score a couple points in the defense, it's over. Like the Giants beat them, 17-12 or something like that. If Washington completely shuts them down, which I think they couldn't hold them under like 15 points, which are very, very, very possible. I think Washington can win this game, honestly. But the thing is, Alex Smith is gone. I think Dwayne Haskins is starting, which kind of, slows that offense down a lot. But I think the defense is going to be okay.
I think this actually will rejuvenate Dwayne Haskins. I'm not saying he's going to play great. I'm not saying he's – I think just specifically for this game with this bad of a Seattle defense, I think this is the game where he could take full advantage of it, right? Of course, he's not – I don't even think he is a good quarterback, but against this Seattle defense, I think he could do some things.
He's got the division on the line, so, he's got something to play for.
And moving on to the next game, our hometown Chicago Bears. The Minnesota Vikings. So this is actually a huge game for the NFC North specifically and playoff contention. So, Cal, whoever wins this game is probably going to be second in the division behind the Packers and could possibly take the 7th seed in the playoffs. So, what do you got in this game?
Yeah, whoever wins this game, according to Bears fans, winning the Super Bowl. So, I mean, we'll see how that goes. But, oh my God, dude. Like, I'm not a believer in what the Bears did last week to the Texans. Yes, what they did was great. It was awesome to see as a Bears fan because they've been struggling for so long offensively. But we got to pump our brakes a little bit, right? It's Houston, they have fucking nobody. Like, besides Deshaun Watson and J.J. Watt, who the hell else plays for that damn team, right? I got to go Minnesota on this one. I don't believe the Bears, that game, like I said, it's fake. I think Dalvin Cook, if we hold him to 100 yards, he's going to still be an impact player. The defense their wide receivers, I think, are going to have a field day in our defense. Yeah, I got to go with Minnesota on this one, man.
Yeah, so I feel like you're taking Minnesota based off of, let's be real, better players. They have better players than
they
us.
got the better talent. And their players, even though we have the same records, they have the better talent, and their players have a better chance every week of popping off. Rather than the Bears, we know that the Bears don't have that popping up because it starts with the man under center and he kind of holds everything back. And with the play calling, you know what I mean? Like we had David Montgomery run a 80-yard run in the first play of the game, and then he only finishes with 11 carries. Like, why? And it's a 36-7 score. So the play calling is just garbage, okay? And I just think that, they have the better talented players. Yes, same records, but their players can pop off quicker and out of nowhere more than the Bears players.
I think so. I agree with you on that. I'm gonna take the Bears, by the way, but the only reason why I'm taking the Bears, it's not because I'm a Bears fan. I think the one thing that I agree with you on, in that I feel like the one thing that you're missing to hit on everything that you said is that they're better coached. That's what they really are.
Who is?
Even though
Minnesota?
Minnesota. Like Mike Zimmer's not a great coach, but he knows situational football, whereas Matt Nagy doesn't, right?
It doesn't.
You were up 33-7 at the end of the third quarter, and you're still throwing the ball on first and second down.
Stats.
So, now, here's the difference. I personally think the Bears will win this game for one reason. If they can just continue, of course, the last 3 weeks against the Packers defense, who's not all that, against an atrocious lot of Detroit defense, and then one of the worst teams in the NFL in the Texans, right? Like defensively and offensively. Of course, they're going to score 30 points. Of course, they're going to do that good, right? I think the only difference is that Minnesota's defense has not been playing as well as they have in the previous 4 weeks, besides last week. I think that's going to be a real key. I do agree that I think the wide receivers on Minnesota will kind of take advantage of the Bears. But, I mean, we saw what happened. I mean, let's be real. We let Kirk Cousins beat us, right? And it was the first time in prime time like his first win ever. Like
That was a shit Monday night game.
Yeah, it was a terrible Monday night game. I just personally think the Bears are better suited now. I think they're playing more as a collective group. Of course, they're against bad teams, but you need to win those games against the teams that you're supposed to win.
Yeah.
Or the teams you're supposed to beat. So I think Minnesota right now is a team that they have to beat. But I mean, I agree with you. I think Minnesota is the better suited team. So
if the Bears win, it would be such a Chicago Bears thing to do, is to like just completely go crazy and just like win out or like win majority of the rest of your games. It'd be such a Chicago Bears thing to do, and then the Bears just like re-sign Ryan Pace, extend Ryan Pace, and they sign Mitch to a 2-year deal. It's just like such a Chicago Bear thing to do, which I could see happening. But for the purpose of this week and ignoring the Chicago Bears and their ways, I'm just gonna go with Minnesota on this one.
Yeah, and by the way, just to add on what you said, so just a little background story. I saw this video of this guy saying, "Oh, my dream of the Chicago Bears would be to win out the rest of the season, be 9-7, take the 7th seed in the NFC playoffs, and then win out, and then go to the Super Bowl, face the Chiefs, and have Patrick Mahomes like be up by 6 with like 3 minutes left or something. Trubisky drives on them. Dude, none of that is gonna happen. Okay,
Dude.
Bears are a Chicago Bears team who have been. Yes, they have been horribly like inconsistent on the field. They're very consistent on the backside of everything. They're gonna finish, and even if they win out the rest of the season, they go 9-7. Okay, the Bears are gonna lose in the first round and get blown out, embarrassed on TV.
Oh yeah.
Then they're gonna be the 19th or the 20th pick in the draft and be shit again. So calm your horses.
Welcome to Chicago Bears football, baby.
Moving on to the next game, we got the New England Patriots visiting the Miami Dolphins. This is actually a good game. Kel, who do you got in this one?
Yeah, so this is not like the previous years where you just go in New England right away over Miami, right? I'm gonna go with Miami on this one. As much as I love Belichick and you can never go against him, when they get stopped, they really get stopped. Like they can't move that ball, like they cannot move the ball first quarter to the fourth quarter. Like usually teams get stopped and then eventually, they'll get like, a play or two and, get a touchdown and some momentum. When New England gets stopped, man, they really get stopped. Cam is just like really, really struggling. Like, I don't know what's going on with that. Miami's balling, man. I'm really happy that Miami's doing good, man. I love to see these franchises turn it around. Tua, I'm excited to see what he can do in his career. Miami's just, I mean, they could have won that game against the Chiefs. They really could have. They really could have beat the Chiefs. They started off hot, and that defense is good. They play in grand all three sides of the ball. And even though obviously the better coach here is Belichick, I don't think that matters because they can't do nothing offensively with that team. I'm going to go with Miami in this one.
Yeah, so I agree with you. I think once New England gets hit by a brick wall, there's no way around it. They just struggle offensively, even defensively, right? And that's pretty weird to hear that the Patriots defense struggles.
Pretty weird to hear the Patriots struggle in general.
Yeah, and it's like, but I mean, listen, I don't want to take anything away from Miami. They are playing great this season. I agree with you. I'm so happy that they are turning it around. I'm really happy for Tua. I'm happy for like a lot of the guys that are on that team that are really making a difference. And I'm so happy to see Brian Flores succeed.
Yeah,
right?
I love him, man.
Yeah, so do I. And we know he came from the Bill Belichick tree. So for him to actually get a win against his former, I guess you could say, teacher, teacher. Yeah. I couldn't think of the word, but yeah, it'd be a great turnaround for them. And I think as a mental standpoint, Miami, if they can win this game, it's going to be a huge push for them in the playoffs because now Brian Flores will feel like he's unstoppable and he's going to be coaching the perfect games, right?
Yes.
So I think it's going to be a real momentum booster for Miami, especially if they get this win.
And to add on real quick, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. I was just going to say for them, they could even finish the season double-digit wins.
Yeah,
that's going to be the first time for them in how many years?
I don't think, even if I think they'll make the playoffs. If they do make the playoffs, I don't think they'll make any noise. I don't think they're there just yet. But I remember last year when they were so bad, obviously these past so many years, I remember though I was hearing it last year, so many of the players wanted to leave, talking to the agents, get me out of here because they were so bad, and now it's great to just, how, all those guys now are just kind of making play. Everybody's playing their job. Xavier Howard's balling out over there, leading the league in interceptions. He's great. Tua, I'm excited for him to see what he does in the future. I I still think Fitzpatrick, man, should just like kind of finish it out, man. He started this, dude. Like, I feel like they kind of did him a little dirty, but I completely understand it's a business. You got to get your rookies in there. Fitzpatrick's an older veteran. But yeah, I'm really excited to see what Miami does. Even if not this year, you know, in the coming years, they're ready, I think.
Yeah. I agree with you. I don't think they're going to make that much noise in the playoffs. They might get one win, you know, maybe. But I agree with you. I think they just need a couple more pieces. They are this team. They are the one team in the NFL that I can say are one piece away from really making a push.
Yes.
Right? One key first rounder. They have like 2 next season. So we don't know what they're going to be able to do with them.
Maybe get like a solid, great running back, great wide receiver,
yeah,
you know?
Yeah. It gets some help on the offensive line as well. Even though their offensive line is great, I think if they can get... Because remember, Tua's a left-hander, so his backside, his blind side, is the right tackle. If they could get a really dominant right tackle, I think that'll like push them over the edge, especially to help the run game.
It's a good point. I like that. It's a good point.
Moving on to the next game, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are fucking trash, against the Baltimore Ravens, who we all know just had a very great Monday night game.
That was an awesome game.
One of the best games of the season so far.
Yes, it has to be.
Yeah. Kat, let me get your prediction on this.
Yeah, so I actually think the Jaguars are worse than the Jets. The Jets, I really think, are throwing games, right? Somebody actually mentioned this the other day. I think it might have been you. Like, because we all know the Jets are throwing games, but like they brought up this point where like they think the Jets actually might be better than the Jaguars, which I really do kind of think about it. Because Jaguars are just fucking awful, okay? And both teams are very fucking awful. But I feel like the Jets could have had at least like 2 wins this year, maybe 3 wins. But Ravens are going to, like, I really think, destroy them, and especially coming up that Monday night game. Lamar, I felt like kind of like building momentum now, kind of getting back to his MVP self. Past 2 weeks, yeah, he faced the Cowboys the week before, but you know that Monday night game was bad. I'd rather talk about that Monday night game than this game, to be honest with you. But yeah, I'm the Ravens in this one. They're going to shut them down defensively, and then offensively, they're just going to put up crazy numbers. I think it's going to be like a video game, Madden game this week for them.
Yeah, so I agree with you. I do think the Jaguars are worse than the Jets. The Jets 100% could have won 2 or 3 games. They 1,000,000% through those games just to get Trevor Lawrence. I don't blame them. Honestly, I do not blame them, but the Jags are just that bad, man. Like, they don't have... Like, we saw even last season, what did they finish? 5-11 last season?
Jaguars?
Yeah, they finished like...
Yeah. But they had the Minshew mania hype going on.
Yeah, but like even then you thought they could build onto it, but
yeah.
I mean, Minshew magic died down. DJ Chark finally settled back down on earth. Like, there was a lot of things that happened last season that were just very fortunate for them. But forget about the Jags. They are ass. The Ravens coming off of that Monday night win against the division rival in the Browns, and to play as well as they did.
The defense looked like bad though.
Yeah, no. The defense was like they let Baker Mayfield and Nick Chubb put it to them, right?
Oh, Nick Chubb.
But dude, I think, man, Baltimore, I think this is a good momentum booster, especially for Lamar, coming off of like a horrible season, first like 8 weeks of the year. The last 2 weeks, again, granted, they did play the Cowboys and the Browns, but the Browns have a solid defense. And
look at like, Tennessee the week before.
Yeah, they're a solid defense. They're not that bad. Like, they've been playing very well every week, but Baltimore, I feel like this is a good momentum booster for them for the rest of the season. We'll see what happens with them.
Speaking of Trevor Lawrence, though, real quick, did you see how a lot of people are saying, like, oh, if I'm Trevor, I'd stay another year or whatever, like kind of like what Eli did and all that? But no, Trevor Lawrence, they were interviewing the other day. He's like, whatever situation I end up in, like, basically, I'm leaving college this year. He goes, whatever situation I end up in, I'm going to try my best. So, like, I guess he's expecting to go to the Jets, and, he's ready for it. So I just thought I'd throw that out there.
I mean, if you really think about it, I mean, the Jets, what they could do, which this would never happen, obviously they're tanking for Trevor Lawrence. Like, all know, everyone in the NFL, anybody in sports that watches sports know that they're tanking for him. But I think they could potentially set up a trade package for that first pick. I know it's not going to happen, but I've been hearing, obviously this is all rumors, it's not really going to happen, but they could make some noise with that first pick. But we'll see what happens for the rest of the season. But moving on to the next game, we do have the Tampa Bay Bucks visiting the Atlanta Falcons. Cal, who do you got on this one?
Yeah, I'm going Tampa on this one. Atlanta, I don't know what happened to you guys after that Super Bowl. I don't know if Brady and Belichick really got to you guys, but hello, you're gonna be meeting Brady again this week. I think Brady's gonna have a great game again just to piss them off. You know what I mean? Like Brady's gonna be like one of those guys that I'm just gonna piss you off again. Have a great game. That rush defense is just amazing that they got in Tampa. Atlanta, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Matt Ryan's he just decided I don't feel like playing anymore. Julio's out. They're just playing to end the season. You know what I mean? I think they're gonna make a lot of offseason changes. Just a lot of changes in the offseason. I'm going Tampa in this one.
Yeah, if I was Atlanta, I would definitely burn everything to the floor. Trade Julio, let go, trade Calvin Ridley for a bunch of picks. Let go a lot of even Russell Gage. You might not get that much for him, but you could get draft capital for him. Let go a lot of these guys on defense, guys that you're wasting their careers, right? We've been saying this every week for the entire season, probably since last season even. The Falcons are wasting Julio Jones' career. Although Absolutely. He does put up great numbers every year, and he's a 1,000-yard receiver.
He deserves a couple rings, though.
Yeah, Julio Jones might go down as the greatest player to ever play in his position to never win a ring, especially if he stays in Atlanta. Now,
Dan Marino.
Yeah, if he goes, but see, my point is, I think he'll be at the end of his career. He'll have way better numbers at the wide receiver position than Dan Marino did at QB. And for him not to have a ring, I think he'll go down as the greatest player in the NFL ever at any position to fucking not win a ring.
I agree with you on that.
It's crazy how good Julio is, and for him to be there, it just sucks for him. But Tampa Bay is going to take this game. They're going to fucking wipe the floor with Atlanta's defense. I agree with you. I think Tom Brady is going to just, fucking give
He's going to be a Tom Brady, you know what I mean? Just
Yeah. He's one of those smug-ass people that is just going to be like, yeah, I beat you once at the highest stage. I'm going to beat you again just for fuck's sake.
But he's going to post on his Instagram, hey, big week. You ever
on
Instagram, he always does that. Big week. We won. Looking forward to next week, whoever they're facing. So great.
And I do hope Mike Evans comes back from that little strain that he had last week. Dude, I feel bad for Mike. Mike Evans is another one of those players, dude. I feel bad for him. He's
always hurt.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's crazy athletic, crazy fast. He's 6'5", and this guy just stays injured. I don't know what it is, but
it's crazy.
Man, let's move on from this game because we know the Bucs are gonna fucking go crazy. Next game we got the Lions at the Tennessee Titans. Cal, this is pretty obvious, but go ahead.
Yeah, Derrick Henry, 30 carries, 300 yards. I'm assuming on this one, he's gonna destroy them. Stafford playing this week. They were talking about his ribs. I'm not sure yet. Regardless, Stafford plays or not, Stafford's another one of those guys got to get out of Detroit. You know what I mean? But for Pick-Em's sake, I'm going Tennessee on this one. I think Derrick Henry, is going to be the rushing leader again. I think he's going to take that title again. Tannehill's being Tannehill. They should change the game manager name to the Ryan Tannehill position because he's fucking doing a phenomenal job with just managing the game. Hand the ball up to Henry, let him score a couple touchdowns. You throw that 50-yard bomb to A.J. Brown when we need it, and then you just shut up and you keep hiking the ball, handing it to Derrick Henry. He got paid doing it, and they're having a lot of success doing it. Shout out Mike Vrabel. I think he's a great fucking coach too.
Yeah, so I'm agree with you. I think I'm gonna take the Titans just because let's face it, they are the way better team than the Lions. Lions don't have anybody. But to add on to what you were saying about Ryan Tannehill, dude, it's crazy that play action because it's always a play action boot where he does a play action, runs to the fucking right side of the field for 5 yards, and then just bombs it to A.J. Brown, Jonnu Smith, any one of these fucking receivers, and they're open, they get a touchdown. So it's dude, glorified. And I think he's a glorified game manager, and I think the next person to do that, unless he takes a major step in his career, is Tua, right?
Being a game manager?
Yeah, game manager.
But he's got to have the weapons around him.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Tannehill does. So, and real quick.
Go ahead.
Speaking of game manager, we all saw that Thursday night game yesterday of when Derek Carr went down. Marcus Mariota, the next Ryan Tannehill, question mark. I heard a lot of hype about it. I just hey, let me ask him,
You know what, though? I'm really happy for Mariota that he's in a situation. Of course, all prayers up to Derek Carr. Hopefully he gets better. It didn't look that serious, but for him to miss the remainder of the game does ask some questions. But Marcus Mariota, man, I'm so happy for him that he did that well at that high of a stage. On a random Thursday night, he's not expecting to play. Of course, awesome. they did catch them off guard because they weren't planning for Marcus Mariota to be running for 70 yards. They were planning for Derek Carr to sit in the pocket, throw for 300 yards.
Yeah.
But man, I'm happy for him.
Yeah, 100%. So my thing is, and I'm not taking anything away from him. It's awesome what he did, and I'm glad he balled out. But a couple things, like you said, they weren't planning for a scramble. You know what I mean? They're planning for a pocket pass with their game plan, right? Number two, we see the Chargers, how they've been all season defensively. A little, banged up, a couple like crazy unlucky plays. Yes, they finally got I'm surprised the Chargers even won, not because they couldn't, but all this, the bad luck that they've been having, like losing games last minute, it's been crazy. But yeah, I think that, we got to, kind of see how Mariota does. It's awesome. I really, really hope this is a turnaround for his career because, dude, it's crazy. Him and Winston were like the number 1 and 2 picks 5 years ago. It's like to see like Mariota, I loved him. He went to Oregon, I believe, right?
Yeah,
and he was, I thought, man, this kid had a bunch of potential. I just feel like he wasn't in, I don't know. I just feel like I really hope he turns it around, dude.
Yeah, Tennessee wasn't a good fit for him.
So now does Mariota play Tannehill's position with Vrabel and the way they're playing now? This is the same way going on with Mariota in there.
Okay, so it depends on how long Derek Carr is out and how long he will be out.
No, I'm talking about you switch Tannehill Mariota right now.
Oh, with the teams?
Yeah, Mariota is in Tannehill's position.
No, the Titans are not that good because Mariota is the type. So Ryan Tannehill knows his role, right? He knows he's a good game manager. He knows I'm going to hand the ball off to Derrick Henry 30 times. I know I'm going to throw maybe 15 to 20 times a game, get maybe 150, 200 yards and a touchdown, right? He's great with that, right? Marcus Mariota, we know as a second overall pick, you're expecting to be the leader of the franchise. You're expecting to do what he did last night.
Yeah.
Okay. To lead your team to victory after being down, or of course they lost, but for the way he played to have 71 rushing yards, I think it was 71 rushing yards, and then he had, I believe 220 yards passing.
Yeah.
It was like, I'm not gonna say it was a fluke. I think it was just an adrenaline boost for him last night, right? I think if you were to switch him back and put him in the Mike Vrabel offense with the Tennessee Titans, he might get frustrated with handing the ball off 30 times, right?
Well,
we don't know.
We'll never know.
I personally think Ryan Tannehill, when he was in Miami, it was unfortunate what happened to him in Miami and how bad they were and everything that he went through, not having any weapons. Now he's in a situation where you're like, okay, yeah, he's not living up to expectations where he was supposed to be at, but he's doing better than what everyone assumed he would after leaving Miami.
Yeah.
So good for him. We'll see what happens with Marcus Mariota the rest of the week, or the rest of the season, and we'll see. But the next game on the list, we got an AFC South matchup. We got the Texans at the Colts. Again, this is pretty self-explanatory. Cal, who do you got?
I feel like we got a lot of lopsided games this week. Like, it's not gonna, for so far for the 12 o'clock games, but going to Indianapolis after what the Bears did to Houston, I think the Colts can do that times 10. I think they're going to completely shut them down. I feel like Rivers and his little running back dumping plays are going to work out a lot this week. We're going to Indy on this one.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot to say on this game. I feel like Texans completely got emotionally and mentally depleted last week at the Bears. And I think going into this week, playing a way better defense, a better offense.
Better team overall.
Yeah, way better team overall. It's just going to break them down even more. Fucking sucks for Deshaun Watson. But, hey, good luck to the Colts in the playoffs, and we'll see what they can do for the rest of the season as well. Moving on to the next, first afternoon game, we got the Eagles. The new and improved Eagles behind Jalen Hurts. And against it looks like struggling Arizona offense, right? Cal, who do you got in this very weird matchup?
So I'm going to go Arizona, but not because of the Eagles from the previous weeks. I still think Arizona is the better team, and I think they're going to, play a lot better than the Eagles. I just got to see more Jalen, right? I got to see, was it just a fluke game? are you going to be figured out, something like that? But the Eagles, man, they look like a brand new team when Jalen hit that field, from the offense, the defense, to the special teams. Like they wanted to play. You know what I mean? They just knew new life, new energy, because when you hit rock bottom with Carson Wentz, right? So when you replace the rock bottom, the only way to go is up. So they figured, we got nothing to lose now. Let's see how it goes. And I feel like, Jalen Hurts, Kyler Murray kind of got the same play style. You know what I mean? Like we could do it on the run. We could do it with our arm. But obviously, the Cardinals got the better weapons here. I'm going to go with Arizona this week.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna take Arizona, but it's not because it's not because the Eagles are a bad team, because like you said, they look like a whole rejuvenated offense. They look like a way better team just overall. And I'm a huge fan of Jalen Hurts. I want him to succeed. I want him to be great in this league. I think it's just that Arizona has the better team. They have such a better offense than the Eagles do. They have way more weapons on offense and on defense that they're just going to take the... I feel like they're going to win this game. And it's not going to be by a lot, because I knew Jalen Hurts was going to be really good. It's not in a sense that he was going to be, oh my God, he's going to be this amazing quarterback. We still do need to see a lot out of him. But yeah. I think the one play that I took away from last week was he was scrambling to the right, and his wide receiver, he just bombed it in the top right corner of the end zone for a touchdown. And it was a great play. So if Jalen Hurts can build on this, I think the Eagles are better suited for the future, not necessarily this season, but for the future. And I think it'll only help them. I think that was, especially if Jalen Hurts does well this week again, I think that's the end of Carson Wentz. In Philadelphia, at least. Yeah,
I think barring, God forbid, an injury or something like that to Jalen, I think Wentz is done regardless. Yeah. That's it.
Moving on to the next game, we have the New York Flying winless Jets and the Los Angeles Rams.
I don't think there's really much to say, right? I didn't know how this is a game. I'm going to the Rams on this one, 45-0, probably. I think Jared Goff has a fucking Peyton Manning type game this week. The whole offense is going to explode. The defense is just going to annihilate the Jets. Yeah, there's not much to say. I mean, come on. I'm going Rams.
Yeah, so I'm going to take the Rams, and it's not even for Jared Goff. I think this is the week where Cam Akers puts up fucking 200 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns, adding in 50 yards receiving. I think because the last 3 weeks he's been playing very well. He's been getting above 90 yards every week the last 3 weeks. So I think this is the game where he just has a career day and just goes bananas. I
love when rookies do good, man. I love it.
Man, it's the best, bro. I get this
you're gonna be the future. You're what we're watching, man.
And I'm like, awesome. I get this feeling of happiness. I'm like, yeah, do you, bro? I'm so happy for him. But
Cam Akers, Todd Gurley 2.0.
I think he's a more elusive, because Todd Gurley was more of a power back.
Yeah.
It's not taking away from his ability to be elusive, but I think Cam Akers, because he is a smaller guy, he's a little bit more elusive, and he is pretty fast.
And I like his name too, Cam Akers.
Yeah, Cam Akers. But yeah, let's move on from this game. Rams got this one.
Yeah.
This is our game of the week. Okay.
I think it's got to be everybody's game of the week.
It's everyone's game of the week, but for our sake, we have the Kansas City Chiefs, the 12-1 Kansas City Chiefs, facing off against the 10-3 New Orleans Saints. Cal, I think this is probably, besides the Baltimore and the Browns game on Monday, I think this is probably going to be one of those games where it's offensive back. Remember, I think it was 2 years ago when this Chiefs played against the Rams in the regular season. It was 50.
Remember that Monday night game? It was in Mexico too, I believe, right?
Yeah, it was in Mexico City, I believe.
It was 55-56.
Yeah, this is gonna be that game.
Yeah, you think so?
I think so, because let me say it this way. I think if Michael Thomas has a big day with Taysom Hill behind center, I think that's what
Breeze might play though. Breeze is playing there.
If Breeze plays, 100%, it's gonna be that game. But if Taysom Hill is still playing, I think if he can get Michael Thomas the ball, I think that will be the sort of game. Of course, it's not gonna be 55-56, no, but it'll probably be 38-35, something along the lines of that. But dude, if Drew Brees is playing, it's gonna be a shit show of an offensive scoring. So everyone who has any guys on fantasy this week, especially because you're in you're about to get to the championship week, or this is the second week of the playoffs, right? Or third week? Second week. Hey, this could make or break your fantasy season.
So who do you got? So I'm pretty sure Drew Brees is playing. Everybody's healthy. Who do you got?
Chiefs. I think Chiefs are better offensively. And defensively, even though the Saints have better key players on defense in Marshall Lattimore, Marcus Williams, they have more talent on their defense, but I don't think they use it in the correct way.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Chiefs on this one. I just feel like, man, it's Patrick Mahomes. I can't go against him, dude. You rerun that game where he lost to the Raiders, they're 13-0 right now. You know what I mean? If Patrick after this, if Patrick Mahomes never lost a game again in his career, I would not be surprised. They're just so good, man. They are just so good. Like when you watch them, it's just like, wow. Like this is how the Bulls were probably in the 90s, dude. You know what I mean? Like they got their speedy guys, and they got Travis Kelce, that big tight end. They're running backs. They're just, oh my God, dude.
And you know what's crazy, dude? Every time I watch them, like sometimes when I overthink games, like whenever they're playing, I'm like, oh, they could lose this week. But dude, as soon as I turn on the game, I'm like, dude, these guys are everyone, top to bottom, is just fucking great. Like
it's like when you don't expect it. It's like, oh, they're probably gonna hand the ball off over here on like 2nd and 2, and nope, Tyreek Hill 70-yard round.
Dude, it's crazy, but I feel like to do the Saints some justice, they do have a great team. Let's be real. They are 10-3, right? And I believe they were struggling in the beginning of the year. They were
like 1-2.
They were like 1-2 in the beginning of the year, and now they're 10-3. Like that's fucking insane. You won 9 out of the last 10 games. So like,
I thought they were screwed when they lost to the Raiders Monday Night Football.
Yeah. So did I. I was assuming, I was like, you know what, the Saints are done. Drew Brees is washed. You know, but man, and Michael Thomas wasn't playing either. So like, you got to take that into you got to take that into consideration. But dude, the Saints are a really fucking good team. Let's be real. Like,
let's not face the Vikings.
Yeah, and
when they faced the Vikings, man, I don't know what happened.
But yeah, to add to what you said about Pat Mahomes, bro, like this guy is just so fucking good. Like I don't remember me feeling that good about a player since like Peyton Manning.
But like the difference is Mahomes gets it done in the post playoffs.
Yeah.
Manning, you know.
Okay, Manning. So over or under, Pat Mahomes finishes with 5 rings.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so that's GOAT consideration right there. So on
GOAT is 6, right? Tom Brady?
Yeah, so to be tied with the GOAT, you got to get 6. To be the GOAT, you got to be 7. So
assuming he doesn't get God forbid any injuries, continues his career like this, I got to go over 6, dude.
Yeah, me too.
At least 6. I think 6 might be like the minimum. He's already got 1, dude, in his 2nd year in the league. He's got an MVP, and he's already got a Super Bowl ring. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah, this is his 4th year, and I think everyone's going down and already predicting his future, how many wins he's going to. So I saw a poll the other day, over under, Pat Mahomes gets 6 rings, and I'm like, yo, that's actually a heavy ass shot that he could do it.
What do you mean, huge shot?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is barring any injuries, I think no matter who you surround Pat Mahomes with, he's gonna be fucking great. I think he's just that type of player.
Okay, since we're on it, at the end of their careers, assuming it stays Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes, right? Throughout Pat Mahomes' tenure?
Yeah, I don't think you're going to change that.
Yeah, right? Andy Reid and Mahomes go down as better than Belichick and Brady. Oh, shit.
That's harder.
That's how good the kid is, though. We're already comparing him to, guys that were in the league for 20 years, though. You know what I mean? That's how good Patrick Mahomes really is.
I think shot. I think it could
he has a chance, man.
Because listen, he just signed that 10-year contract worth $500,000, right?
He's not going anywhere.
He's not leaving anywhere, and as long as they are having winning seasons every single year, Andy Reid ain't leaving. You're not gonna separate Andy Reid from Patrick Mahomes.
I think that'd be so stupid.
Bring back Matt Nagy.
No, stop it. He won't,
listen, I think if at the end of their careers, because let's be real, Patrick Mahomes is going to have a better stat line than Tom Brady ever would.
Oh, yeah.
Because he just throws the ball better. He's not... I think Tom Brady, even in his greatest day, is Pat Mahomes last week when they almost lost.
Yeah.
Okay? That's the difference. So I think statistically wise, yes, Patrick Mahomes will overseed Tom Brady, but at the end of their career, yeah, I still think as long as they stay healthy, yeah.
The future GOAT, I think.
Yeah. Let's move on to the Sunday night football game. So we got the 9-4 Browns, who, yes, they just lost for the first time in 5 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, against the New York Giants, who finally lost after 4 weeks, right? This is I know the records are lopsided, and I know everyone would just assume the Browns could win this game, which, I mean, they have been playing very well the last couple of weeks. Who do you got in this one? This is a very interesting
You know,
game.
as great as the Browns, they played great last weekend against the week before against the Titans. I'm going New York on this one. Call me crazy, but I feel like they got a chip on their shoulder. They know they gotta win now because Washington, taking over that lead. That defense is so underrated, in my opinion, man. The defense is so underrated. Yeah, I think the defense shuts down. I think Baker comes back down to earth a little bit this week, and I think that team, that defense kind of holds them down a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to agree with you. I think the Giants actually have a real shot to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to be crazy if they do at all.
Yeah, I don't think it's crazy if they win.
Yeah, the one thing I would say is that I agree with you. I think Baker's going to come back down to earth. I think he's going to, get the butterflies out of his stomach, and he's going to get a real slap in the face to realize, hey, yeah, you've been having a good season, but it's not that good. Relax. Mm-hmm. I think if Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt,
that's the best duo running back in the game.
Yeah, I think if they continue to do what they're doing, I think if they have a really big week, let me say it this way, I think if they have a really big week against the Giants don't have a chance.
Yes.
I think if they can sort of hold them to under a combined 180 yards, I think the Giants have a chance. I know that's crazy. You're like, oh my God, you're going to give up 180 yards to two running backs. But dude, they're averaging 190 yards.
Yeah. And that Giants defense is so it's just that offense is so bad, man. Yeah. That's what it is. That offense is so bad, especially without Barkley. I feel like they cannot open up any plays. There's no trickery when they're without Barkley on that field. Dude, you know what I mean?
Saquon adds he's exactly like Christian McCaffrey. They add such a huge key part in that offense that even if they are a shitty offense, when you take them out, they are just that much worse.
Yes.
Right? When you have them in there, they're somewhat competitive because these two guys can fucking change the game on one play.
Really shows you what your franchise is really riding on. Just this fucking guy, and you guys are still not good. So look how much more irrelevant you guys are without your main guys.
Yeah. So again, I think if the Giants can somewhat contain the running back duo to let's even just make it an even number, 200 yards, and Baker is gonna get slapped. I think they have a real shot to win this game.
Me too. Yeah.
Let's move on to the Monday night game. We have the Steelers visiting the atrocious Bengals. Now, the Bengals without Joe Burrow are as bad as they come.
No, they're fighting for that number one pick too, maybe.
I think so. I don't think they're going to get it, but they are fighting for it. But Cal, this is pretty easy. Who do you got?
Yeah, Steelers. I think the Steelers are pretenders. I do not. That 11-2 record is so fake, in my opinion. Look at the difference between Kansas City and them. Kansas City's 12-1. That's a legit 12-1 record. You know what I mean? This is 11-2 record's fake. For the sake of this week, the Steelers, I think, are going to win, and I really hope that when the Bengals probably end up with the third pick, I hope they get Joe Burrow some protection on that line.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the Steelers are going to win. They're going to finally get over that hump of the 2 losing streak, right? I still do think they are the biggest pretenders out of everybody. Even they're more pretenders than the Browns. But at least the Browns have been backing it up, right? Steelers, their wide receivers are trash. They drop everything.
They are not trash.
Dude, they drop everything, bro.
Deontay Johnson had one bad week. Come on. No. They're one of the only wide receiving core, I can't even speak, with their tight end, Eric Ebron, who have this is 2 weeks ago. We had 400 yards at the time and 4 touchdowns each.
Yeah. Okay, so they're spreading the ball around. That doesn't mean that there's one. Okay, let me take it back a notch. I don't think they are completely garbage. No, that's not what I'm trying to get. I think for you to have
overrated.
Guys yes, I feel like the guys that you have on your team should be doing so much better. Now, Big Ben is older. He is getting washed. But it's dude, you have these guys, take advantage of them.
Yeah,
I understand
100%.
You got a great running attack. I understand you got a great offense.
Not really.
They did. They did in the beginning of the season.
And that's what they were known for.
That's what I'm saying. So they had a great offensive running attack, and then it kind of disappeared, right? Dude, take full advantage of these guys. You got Chase Claypool, who's fucking 6'5", who could sprint down the field and out-jump anybody, right?
Yes.
Then you got Juju, who could run every single route.
And make a badass TikTok video.
Yeah. And now he got Chase Claypool on that too, man. It's kind of annoying. But
Crazy.
you got Deontay Johnson, who is a glorified fucking 10-yard corner route guy. Like, use advantage of that. Like, Deontay Johnson's so fast, bro. Like,
Yes.
you know. And Eric Ebron, like we saw last season, was the first year since he left Detroit that he was like, holy shit, like he's the actual tight end that Detroit was looking for. And
He did great. He led the league, I think, the tight ends and touchdowns with Colts. Yeah.
I think he led the league in touchdowns actually.
Could be, yeah, receiving touchdowns.
But yeah, man, like you got all these star-studded players on this offense who, yes, if you put them on any other team, might not be like the star, but dude, you got four of the best like receiving, or I think he has one of the best receiving cores in the NFL.
I agree.
Like, these guys all have under 600 yards each.
There was a meme. Big Ben looks like that one uncle who just ate turkey and now he has to go throw footballs because all the kids wanted to play with him.
I saw that. I was dying.
That's so spot on, man. He does look like he's just like so out of shape, but man, he's a big dude, bro. Yeah. He is hard to take down, man. I'm sure if you ask like about a lot of defensive linemen he played against, he's probably one of the hardest guys to take down, man.
Yeah, it's not necessarily that he's fat. He's
big
wide,
dude.
Bro. Yeah, he's fucking wide. So. Dude, yeah, that's actually spot on. I love that, dude. I loved it, dude. And I died, and I meant to bring it up to you, but I'm so happy you said it.
It was so funny, dude. When I was listening to my group chat, and I got busy at work. I was like, I'll send it later. So spot on, man.
So funny. All right, guys. So that's gonna do it for Week 15 Pick-Ems, brought to you by SideLine Sports. I want to thank my co-host Cal. Thank you for coming out, my man. As always,
yes, sir.
Appreciate the support. And to you guys as fans, we want to wish you guys a happy holidays. Hopefully we do bring out something along the lines with the holidays as well. Continue to show us support, and we'll show you guys all the stuff that we got, all the incredible stuff that we're going to be dropping out, especially for these holidays coming up. And all the college students that are on winter break, congrats. Like, you got a month of relaxation. But yeah, man, thank you guys for the continued support as always. That's gonna do it for us out here. Thank you.